Hello, welcome to our online grammar class where today we are going to talk about verbs. Yes, about verb tenses. Okay, let's get started. This will be about the past and the present. Later we'll talk about the future. Okay, so first, what is a verb? It's a group of words that expresses an action, an event, or a state. Talk about that later, but they are very important. Tenses are very important. Imagine having a sentence without verbs, such as she, her mother, the hospital. This might be shocking. What happened? Oh no. But here it is with the verbs. She called her mother, who works at the hospital. Oh, that's much better. You can see how important verbs are. Right. How do verbs work in English? Before we start that, let's think about how verbs work in Japanese. Remember, you are the expert here. So I want you to think about that a little bit. Have you thought about it? Right, here's what I found out on the internet. You can tell me if it's right or not. It says that Japanese has only two tenses, past and non-past, and it matters a lot for you, the speaker, to put when it is happening in context, to say yesterday or next week, and we will understand each other. But again, you are the expert. Now, in English, it's a little bit more complicated than that, which is why we're going to spend some time today talking about it. Right, so verbs, as you know, in English, come in the past, the present, and the future, and that in three different sort of aspects. That's simple, the progressive, and the perfect. So the time there tells you when, and the simple and progressive or perfect tells you how or how long or what the speaker is thinking about the way this verb works and what it means. All right, so in the simple tenses, there is the present simple with the third person S, and the past with the ED, and in the future. Right, in the progressive, we use the verb to be plus ing. And in the past, again, the verb to be, was or were, plus the ing. We use it with going to for the future. And the progressive is also a longer action. Okay, it takes a longer time to happen. The perfect is with the verb have, not be, and is with the past participle or the third form of the verb. So, Mie has studied English. In the past perfect, it's had, and then will have in the future perfect. Right, that's a lot to take in. Today, we're only going to talk about the past and present, simple and progressive. And then next week, we'll talk about the other ones. So let's start with just the present. Right, the present simple. Present simple does not mean it's happening now, even though we say the present. What it means is that it's a repeated daily habit or a general truth. Okay, Mie studies every day. So it doesn't mean studying just now, but studies every day. Okay, repeated action. Right. Is Mie studying now? Well, maybe Mie is studying now, or maybe she's taking a bath. We don't know. All we know is that every day she studies. Okay, so here's other examples. The repeated action, I eat lunch every day, or the general truth, rain falls from the sky. Is it raining now? We don't know, but we know that this is something that is true. Rain falls from the sky. Right, now let's think a little bit about the present progressive. It's also called the present continuous. And if we want to say that something is happening now, we use the present progressive. Progressive means in progress, now. Okay, and it is the be verb plus the verb ing. So here's an example. Mie is studying now. Okay, now. But it's something that started in the past Okay, started in the past. And the question is, does it continue into the future? We don't know. We know she's studying now, but we don't know about the future. Right. So, does Mie study regularly? We don't know. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. All we know is what happens now, right? The action happening now, John is smiling. Okay, so what is the difference between the present simple and the present progressive? Have a look. Ayami studies English. We say this because it's what we call a habit, or it's permanent, or it's a general truth. And Mie is studying English. So the difference is only the verb, simple verb or progressive verb. Okay? The progressive verb is happening now, but also it's kind of temporary. Okay. And the temporary period can be really short or long. Maybe she's studying English and has been studying English for 4 years. We still use that progressive tense, right? Okay, so here is Ayami, and we say Ayami studies English. Is she studying now? You can't see because my head's in the way. Is she studying now? No, she is not studying now. Right now she's making tea. But we know that she studies English as a habit or a routine. Okay, and here, Mie is studying English. Right now, she is studying English. So that's the difference. Okay, so we often see this. Usually the cat plays with a ball. Now it is doing its homework. Okay, usually, and those kind of other adverbs, almost always, usually, often, they are used with the simple tense to talk about a habit, and not usually with the progressive. The progressive, we usually say now or right now. So just to review, simple present is a routine, a habit, or a scientific fact, whereas the present continuous is actions in progress now. Another example, we usually do our homework in the morning. Now we're skating. Let's do a little practice. Look at the verbs after and put them in the correct tense, present simple or present progressive. Let's check your answers. Here we have shh. That tells you it's happening now. Okay. And here we have usually. So that tells you it's a habit. Okay, look, the kids, look, that tells you it's happening now, are climbing. The moon and the earth, that tells you it's going to be a scientific fact. Hurry, that tells you it's happening now. The bus is coming. I don't want to miss it. Okay, now it's asking about every day. Do you eat rice every day? And finally, let's check this one. What are you doing now? Nice. There are two kinds of verbs, and one we call the action verbs. You can think of these as, oh, something happening. It's actually like a physical movement. You walk, run, laugh, crawl, cry. These are all action verbs. And with action verbs, they can come in the present simple, I walk to school, or in the progressive, I'm walking to school now. Both of those are okay. There's another kind of verb called a stative verb, and they are the ones that talk about things that really you can't see. Now, here's one example, agree, and it's okay to say I agree in the present simple, but it is not okay to use it in the progressive. I am agreeing. That's wrong. It can be kind of difficult to remember the stative verbs, so usually we organize them around this sort of symbol, and they are, for example, your feelings and emotions, thoughts and mental states, your senses, and existence, and possession. So your feelings and emotions are things like love, hate, appreciate, like. Again, not in the progressive. Okay. For example, need. I am needing. Thoughts. Know, understand, believe, realize, mean, and remember. Not in the progressive. Senses. That is hear, see, smell. I can't see that either. Taste and touch. Okay. And existence. Existence. Be, exist, seem, and appear. And possession. Have, own, possess, or belong. Okay, we can think of these as, boom, boom, your heart and your brain, okay, and your existence, your senses, and your possessions. All of these do not take the progressive, right? Maybe take a screenshot of this so you can remember, put it on your wall. Okay, these are the stative verbs. Simple, not progressive. Okay, but it's a little tricky. Some verbs can be both. For example, the dog smells terrible. Okay, oof. So this is a stative verb because that means the dog has a bad smell. And you can't say is smelling. But remember, the dog is not doing anything. You are doing something. Okay? And you cannot say is smelling. Now this one, he's smelling a flower. Oh, so sweet. Okay, he is breathing in the smell, and that is the action. So in this case, it's okay to say he is smelling. Right. Another example, she has a new car. In this case, it's a stative verb because it's owned. And you can't say she is having a new car. No. She is having a party. In this case, it's the action verb because she's hosting a party. Right. Have a look at these and see if you can correct the errors. You will see two statements. Choose the correct one. For example, I am knowing your name. I know your name. Which one is correct? Look at the verb. The verb know can only be used in the simple tense, not in the progressive. So the other one, I am knowing your name, that's wrong. Okay, know is a stative verb for thoughts. Now try these. Let's check your answers. This car belongs to me. Belong is a stative verb, so that one's correct. This one, which one is correct? Okay, there's the verb smell. So here we go. Smell is a stative verb here. The pasta smells. If it was an action verb, that would mean the pasta is smelling, but pastas doesn't have noses. That's not right. Okay, next one here. Seen is a stative verb. It's about existence. Okay, he seems nice. Now how about this one? I'm seeing you. I'm seeing the doctor at 10. When see is a stative verb, it cannot be in the progressive, but here it means meet. I am meeting the doctor at 10. So it's not a stative verb, so that one is correct. That was a tricky one. Okay. So present simple and progressive. Remember, the simple one is about a general truth, and the progressive is happening at the moment. Right. Now let's talk about the past. Past simple and past progressive. Past simple means it began in the past and it ended at the past, right? Usually we know when. And it's the verb plus IED, okay? But there are many irregular verbs. I know you know these, but let's review. Here is a list of the most common irregular verbs. Can you write the past simple? For example, say. Past simple is? Yes, said. Now you try. Let's check your answers. As we said, there is said, made, went, took, came, saw, knew, got, gave, found, thought, told, became, left, felt, put, brought, began, kept, and held. Good job. Right, those are the most common irregular past tense verbs. It's simple. Mie studied last night. It happened in the past, and we know when. Past simple, right? I went there last week. You don't have to say this time, but usually we know what time you're talking about. Okay, and then progressive, sometimes again called the past continuous. It's used to show interrupted past. Okay, it has 3 uses, but this is one of the uses. And it means it was in progress in the past. We use the verb be plus ing like this. Mie was studying when I arrived. Okay, notice here we have 2 tenses, the simple and the progressive. Mie was studying. This is an action that took place over time, and then it was interrupted when I arrived. So the long action is the progressive one, and the short action, I arrived, is in the simple tense. Did Mie stop studying when you arrived? We don't know. We don't know what happened after that. Maybe she continued studying, or maybe she stopped. We don't know. So you can also flip those two to say, when I arrived, Mie was studying. Notice if you do that, if the when comes first, then you need a comma in the middle of the sentence. Right. Here's another way to show this. Shorter action interrupts the longer action. So the longer action is here and it's interrupted. While I was cooking dinner, the phone rang. Notice while. You could say, when I was cooking dinner, the phone rang, or while I was cooking dinner, the phone rang. Both are okay. Right. Here, when could be either when I was cooking dinner, she arrived, or I was cooking dinner when she arrived. When can go at the beginning of the progressive or at the beginning of the simple tense. Here, when I was cooking, progressive. Here, when she arrived, simple. Both of those are good, but not with while. While I was cooking, she arrived is okay, but I was cooking while she arrived? No, while only goes with the progressive because it's about a long action. While can only go with the long action, the progressive action. 3 uses of the past progressive: an ongoing action in the past, the sun was shining; an interrupted action in the past, I was taking a bath when my sister came home; and 2 ongoing actions happening at the same time. So I was taking a bath, my dad was making dinner. See, these are happening, long actions happening at the same time. So this is the one we talked about, the interrupted. Okay, that's what it looks like. It's happening, it's interrupted. This one, action happening in the past, it's just happening, and there's no interruption. And these are 2 things happening at the same time. Notice here we have the progressive, right? And here we have the progressive. And we usually use while with those 2 progressives. There we go. Your turn to practice. Let's check your answers. The baby was sleeping when the phone rang. She usually sleeps for about 2 hours. Did you get that? Usually? Right. Here's some information about me, and it's true. Here are the verbs: live, meet, teach, and study. Let's check your answers. Bridget, come on, was living in Japan when she met her husband. She was teaching at an English conversation school called GIOS, and he was studying Japanese at Kumamoto University. Try this one. Let's check your answers. What were you doing at 9 o'clock last night? So 9 o'clock last night is a point. What were you doing at that time? I was watching BTS on TV. I love them. Notice with love, it's a stative verb and it can't be in the progressive. Okay, whew. How are you feeling? Are you getting tired? We're about halfway through. I want you to take a little break and come back here after you've had a minute to recuperate. Go outside, make a cup of tea, do some jumping jacks. Okay, let's go. Go ahead, take a break.
Now we're going to learn how to properly perform jumping jacks. So the first thing you want to do is stand straight up, put your arms to your side, and keep your feet together. Next, you're going to jump, bring your feet apart, and then bring your hands over your head, moving them in an arcing motion. Now we're simply going to return back to the starting position by jumping and bringing our feet back together and our arms back to the side. Once you get comfortable, go ahead and increase the speed. And this is going to be a great general warm-up exercise, a great stretching exercise, and a great overall conditioning and calorie burning movement. That's how you properly perform jumping jacks.
Now you're back. Yay. Take a deep breath. Here we go. Let's get going. We're going to do this. Right. Pronunciation. Auxiliary verbs are usually reduced in English, and main verbs are usually stressed. Which are the main verbs and which are the auxiliary verbs in these sentences? Notice, if it is a main verb, it's stressed, but the auxiliary verb is usually not stressed. So this one would be, he likes to dance. He is dancing now. Notice the is becomes very short and weak. He's dancing now. They went to Universal Studios yesterday. They were riding the roller coaster for hours. We eat dinner at 7 every night. We have already eaten. Stress on the main verb. Here we are again. We have talked about the auxiliary verbs. When you look at this, notice which have the auxiliary verbs. There they are. That's a lot of auxiliary verbs. Now, how do you make a question with these verbs? You remember, you flip. If you have the auxiliary verb and the subject, you just flip them. Now, these other over here, these are the simple and the past, and we will add do, does, or did here, and then flip those, and then flip. Yes, and then flip those. Okay, so just to remind you about how to make those questions. So let's review asking questions. Ask a question about the underlined word. Let's check your answers. Remember, when you repeat, practice the correct pitch. Yes, no goes down, WH goes up. Does Ayami work every day? Voice goes up. When did Ayami go home? Where is she going dancing? When is she going dancing? How often does she go dancing? Have you ever met her? Have you ever met her? Nice. Let's do a little listening practice. Listen to the audio. You'll hear a question or a statement, and you must choose the correct response. For example, you'll see 4 statements like this. This is a general truth. This is happening now. This has happened at a time in the past. And this is an ongoing past action. You will hear a statement like this. He's from Delaware. You should choose the best description. In this case, the best answer is A. This is a general truth. Or you may hear a question. Then just choose the best answer.
Number 1. I go online every day. Number 2. I graduated university last year. Number 3. He's doing his homework. Number 4. I was listening to music while I was studying. Number 5. What are you doing? Number 6. What do you do? Number 7. What did you do? Number 8. What were you doing when I came by? Number 9. I was doing karaoke when I met my boyfriend. Number 10. She usually goes out on Friday night, but tonight she's going to bed early.
Right, let's check your answers now. I go online every day. This is a habit, every day. I graduated university last year. This happened at a time in the past. He's doing his homework. This is happening now. I was listening to music while I was studying. This was an ongoing past action. I was listening and I was studying at the same time. What are you doing? I'm watching TV. Notice, what do you do? I'm a hotel manager. What do you do asks about in general. What are you doing asks about now. What did you do? I met my boyfriend at a bar. What were you doing when I came by? I was talking to my friend on the phone. I was doing karaoke when I met my boyfriend. Which happened first? First I sang karaoke, then I met my boyfriend. So I was doing karaoke, and then I met my boyfriend. She usually goes out on Friday night, but tonight she's going to bed early. It's not usual for her to go to bed early. It's usual for her to go out. Okay, nice job. Now, moving on, let's practice a little bit. Look carefully at this picture. What's happening? Can you imagine? At the front of the class, you can see what looks like an American flag and a blackboard. And on the blackboard, it says, "Happy birthday and surprise, Miss Jones." She is a teacher. Here are all of her children. They're sitting so quietly, and their arms are by their side. On her desk are some presents. Fill in the blanks with the verbs. Okay, let's check your answers. This is Miss Jones. She teaches 2nd grade. Her class is the noisiest class in the school. This morning, the students in this class surprised their teacher, so the morning is before. Today is her birthday. They all came to class early and wrote messages on the blackboard. In the morning, when she entered the classroom, they were sitting very quietly. They did not shout surprise. That was the surprise. Miss Jones loves her children, and they love her. This is your cued speaking practice. Before you begin, look at the picture to the right. Think about any vocabulary you may need to describe it, such as stethoscope, that's the thing around the doctor's neck, the doctor, a doll, maybe office, candlestick. Then you're going to meet with your partners on Zoom, record your meeting, share your screen and show your picture to the other students. The other students will describe what is happening in your picture. Help them with any vocabulary they need. Remember, your partners will describe your picture, and you help them with the vocabulary. Now your partners will show you their pictures. Look at the pictures and try to describe. Try to use as many tenses as possible. Present simple, present progressive, past simple, past progressive. Here is an example.
Hi. Hi, Harry. Hi, Keelan. How's it going?
It's going
Yeah.
good.
Good.
Are you
Nice
guys
to see
excited
you.
for our picture describing session?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to share my picture with you.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, can you see my picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're in a red room.
That looks like they're asking the woman to do something.
Yeah, and what kind of room do you think this is?
Oh, it's backwards up there. The
Yeah.
jury room.
Yeah, so this is a jury.
Oh,
Like in a
so
court.
maybe they were in the courtroom?
Mhm.
Maybe they've been having an argument about what's happened in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for that guy who looks like he's having a nap.
This guy here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sleeping. And yeah,
And they will have to tell the judge.
the judge, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
They'll have to make a decision about whether the person's guilty.
Yeah, exactly. And so what do you think she thinks?
Maybe she thinks that the person's innocent.
Yeah.
What's it called? The person who's on trial.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can't remember the word for that.
The defendant.
Defendant. Yeah, there we go. The defendant. Okay. And yeah, anything else about this picture?
Well, a couple of those men are wearing like those jackets without sleeves on.
Mm-hmm.
What are they called?
Those knitted vests.
Here, vests, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long do you think they have been talking?
It looks like a long time because there's so many papers on the floor and pencils and stuff.
Exactly.
And a spittoon?
A spittoon. Yes, good job. Yeah. A lot of people smoking and using tobacco, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I hope not too many people have been using the spittoon. It might.
Okay, let's go to the next picture.
Okay, that's mine. All right, let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay, so that's my picture.
Ooh. Okay, so there's a soldier. And it
Yeah.
looks like he's just come back home, maybe.
So he must have been away for a while.
Where
Mhm.
do you think he was?
Maybe at fighting a war or something
Mm.
in the war.
Yeah, maybe that or training or something. But he's been away a long time. It looks like.
Yeah, and they're very excited to see him. I think this is his mom here, and she's
Mm,
In the middle.
yeah, and this is maybe a brother and sister, and
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, what do you think the story is with her?
girlfriend or something. She
Oh,
hasn't seen him for a long time,
yeah.
Mm.
and I think they're gonna run up to him and give him a big hug and a kiss, maybe.
Mm,
Yeah.
and I think later they're gonna have a big meal to welcome him home.
Yeah, something like that.
Do.
Yeah, looks like the dog is excited to see him too.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Great.
All right.
Okay.
Oh,
Look
so
at
it's
Harry's
not
picture.
okay. Right, let's see if I can do this. Share. Okay.
Ooh.
So, well, they're sitting at a counter.
In maybe a restaurant or a diner.
Yeah.
You can see there's pies. There are some pies in that case.
Yeah. So maybe they're gonna eat some pie, you think?
It looks like maybe the police officer is asking the boy what the boy wants to eat.
Yeah. Um, is
And
there anything else in this picture, Harry?
well, what do you think they're listening to on the radio?
Oh, they maybe the news or something.
Mm.
Is there anything at the bottom of the picture, Harry?
Oh, oh,
Oh, all
Oh,
is revealed.
oh, he's run away.
He ran away from home.
He ran away from home, yeah.
So
So,
maybe the police officer is getting him a bite to eat before taking him home.
yeah, he's asking him what his address, and then he's going to take him home.
Asking him if he wants to eat in a restaurant where the proprietor doesn't smoke indoors.
This looks like it comes from a time when everybody smoked all the
Yeah,
time.
everything tasted like cigarettes. That's why the boy ran away from home.
Yeah. Why do you think he ran away?
Maybe because he wanted to get a dog like the boy in the other painting, and his parents wouldn't get him a dog, so he decided to run away.
That could be it. Yeah.
So after this, they'll just go back to the boy's house. Maybe he'll take him home.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think his parents are going to be happy to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll get him a dog.
Maybe. All right, cool. Thank you.
Was that all of our?
I think so.
great. Well, I enjoyed describing pictures with you both.
Yeah, thanks very much.
I want to remind you of your homework. You're going to record a cued speaking description with your partners. Find your picture on Google Classroom. Look up any words you need to describe your picture. Find your partners on Google Classroom. Meet each other on Zoom and record your Zoom meeting. And then one person share a picture and the other students will describe it using the present simple or progressive, the past simple or progressive. Okay? Then turn off your screen sharing and let another student share their picture while you and your friends try to describe it using the correct tense. Right? Title your recording with names of everyone in your group and upload that recording on Google Classroom. Oh, and of course, do the Kahoot practice. Right? Remember, if you have any questions, we are here to help you. Go online or ask a question on Google Classroom. We want to help you. If you think you need a little more practice, there are more optional practice sites on our Google Classroom. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Bye.